Hey guys, welcome to Raj Talks Games. I'm Roger, aka Raj, and this is my brand new channel where we're going to obviously, like I said, talk about video games. Just a little background about me. I have been gaming since I was 3 or 4 years old, and I am now 3 weeks shy of 40. So, I've got a lot of experience playing games from anywhere from the NES to the PlayStation 5. I've owned pretty much every major console in that time span, and pretty much every major handheld as well. So definitely looking forward to talking to people about video games. My favorite genre of games is definitely the RPG. My favorite console of all time is the Nintendo Switch, followed closely by the PlayStation 1 and the SNES. And I'm right now really looking forward to the launch of the Switch 2, which is coming up here in a little less than a month. So very excited about that. Some of the things to expect in this content, obviously, I'm mainly just going to be coming on here. You can tell I don't have like a super professional, super exciting set behind me. I've got, as you can see, right about, I look like a dumbass, and you see the cat hair on my hand. You'll probably be seeing two cats in my videos pretty frequently. But as you can see right here, my whole set is that Chrono Trigger Shadow Box of the Campfire scene. Chrono Trigger is one of my favorite games of all time, so I'm sure I'll be talking about it more. Maybe I'll have a nicer, more to-do set at some point, but we'll see. I'll probably be doing some streams at some point, mostly PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, or just hanging out. I'd like to say I'll do some Switch and Switch 2 streams, but I have an old capture card. I'm not necessarily looking to invest in a capture card at this point. So, all that being said, let's talk some games. So, right now, as I said, we are right around the corner from the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. And I can very happily say that I have a Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order. Or 2. Or 3. So, when the pre-orders came out at midnight, a little over a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago now, I was first able to snag a pre-order from Target.com. But I don't trust Target to not cancel it. So then I got another one from Walmart.com. But I don't trust Walmart to not cancel it. So the next day I go to my local GameStop on my lunch break at work. And they had pre-orders left. I picked up the base console because I'm a physical collector. I prefer not to buy digital games if there's a physical copy available and that's, affordable. Although I've been known to purchase not affordable copies of games more than once. We'll do a collection video sometime where I'll talk about some of my more expensive pieces. So, now I have 3 Switches pre-ordered. I will certainly be canceling one of them from the online orders. One of the other online orders, my childhood best friend's actually going to be buying. So that's going to go to him. And maybe we'll do a midnight launch video. I don't know for sure that we'll be doing that because here's the thing with that. Like I alluded to before, I'm like 40 years old. I'm going to be 40 in 2 weeks. I'm old, guys. I'm an old dude. I work a full-time job. I'm a 9-to-5 guy, Monday through Friday. So, me going out to a midnight launch, which requires a 45-minute drive to my local GameStop, and then, of course, waiting to pick up my system. You probably just heard Cappy in the background. Cappy is one of my 2 cats. He is currently yelling on the floor at me for whatever reason. But anyways, by the time I do the 45-minute drive to GameStop, stand in line, get my system, drive 45 minutes home, and obviously I'm not going to come home with that Switch 2 and then not do anything with it. I'm not going to let it sit all night. I'm going to do the initial setup. I'm going to get it set up on TV, do all the just the opening box stuff. It's going to be like 2:30, 3 o'clock before I'm home and in bed, potentially. And I get up at 6 a.m. every day because much like my drive to GameStop, my drive to my work is also about 45 minutes. I work right up the road from my GameStop of choice. So we'll see on the midnight launch. Regardless, I'll do an unboxing video. I'll do a video when I pick it up, whether it be at midnight or the next day. That's what's coming. So what is in my Switch 2 launch lineup? So right now I have 6 games pre-ordered for the Switch 2. along with the system. So I've got the system, which I mentioned before is just a standard base console, not the bundle. I have a carrying case, as well as a Pro controller and a 256 megabyte micro SD Express. The reason I went with the 256 is because I just didn't decide I wanted to pre-order it until about a week after the pre-orders went out. And at that point, the only one I could find was a 256, which I'll upgrade later. The prices on those Express cards right now are really high. Those are going to go down. It's just, the same thing happened when micro SD came out. The same thing happened when regular SD came out. You've got those high prices that are going to eventually drop. So, that being said, 256, that's going to get me through launch and through the months after, I'm sure. But more importantly, like, what are the games that I have pre-ordered? And that's a big question. So I've got, like I said, 6 games currently on pre-order, and my plan is to have 7 pre-ordered. Whether or not the 7th game is going to happen, it just depends, because we have not seen that go up on any website yet. It's not even listed on BestBuy.com, GameStop.com, Target, any of those. We don't know anything about it, other than the fact that it is a launch game. And that's Hogwarts Legacy, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. That is actually one of 2 games that I will be double dipping on with the Switch 2. I do have that for PlayStation 5, but I've never played it. And the portability of the Switch 2 version, alongside like the graphical quality and, you know, the performance versus the original Switch version, is definitely enticing me to go ahead and double dip on that. I will not buy the Switch 1 version just because I know it doesn't look as good as the PS5 version, doesn't run as well as the PS5 version. And I know the Switch 2 won't either, but it's going to be a much closer comparison than the original Switch version. We'll see if I can get a pre-order on that. As of yesterday, I think I checked when I was at my local GameStop, they still weren't taking pre-orders on Hogwarts Legacy. But hopefully we'll find one. Other than that, my most recent pre-order I grabbed today off BestBuy.com. And if you haven't pre-ordered this yet, which I'm going to guess a lot of you haven't, because nobody's had it up for pre-order yet, and that is the physical version, or the game keycard version, of Bravely Default Flying Fairy for the Nintendo Switch 2. I've been trying to nail a pre-order on that since Switch 2 pre-orders launched, and the only thing that's been available from any of the websites has been the digital version. And that includes GameStop in store. They've only had the digital version available for pre-order. So long story short, during my lunch break today, I jumped on to BestBuy.com on my phone, and I was truthfully looking for Hogwarts Legacy, but as I was scrolling through the Switch 2 games, what did I find? Bravely Default Flying Fairy for Switch 2 physical. So I jumped on that real quick. That's pre-ordered. That should arrive on launch day per BestBuy.com or shortly after. If it's a day or two after, that's fine. I have literally 5 other games that are pre-ordered at GameStop that I will be picking up on launch day. So I'm not at all concerned. So the 5 pre-orders I have at GameStop that are absolute, definitely launch game pickups for me. The first is Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma. So I've had a lot of experience with like the old school Harvest Moon games with Story of Seasons. I've played, you know, not enough hours of Stardew Valley, to be truthful. I'd love to play more of it than I have, but yeah, I play a lot of games, and I also try to have a social life, and, you know, I don't have time to play as much as I would like. But this is going to be my first real dive in Rune Factory. I've dabbled in 3, I've dabbled in 4, but I've never played much of it. Guardians of Azuma, to me, looks very good. And I'm definitely looking forward to picking that up on launch day and playing it. Really finally trying out the series. Looks like it's going to be a really cool kind of, I don't want to use the word cozy game because it has the RPG elements and the combat, but it's probably the closest to a cozy game that I'm going to be picking up at launch for the Nintendo Switch 2. The next game I'll be picking up on launch day for the Nintendo Switch 2 is Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. So I have very little experience with the Yakuza series. My best friend, you're going to hear me talk about him a lot on the channel. His name is Justin. Justin is a big Yakuza fan. He mostly got into the series after Like a Dragon came out for the original Xbox, for the Xbox Series S/X and for the PlayStation 5. I think it was on PS4 and Xbox One, I want to say as well. And he loves the games. He's played, obviously, Like a Dragon. He's played Infinite Wealth, The Man Who Erased His Name. He's been trying to sell me on playing these games for a while now. I have a copy of Infinite Wealth. Not Infinite Wealth. I have a copy of just Like a Dragon on the PS5. I haven't played it yet, but he also loves the beat 'em up Yakuza games, which a lot of people like to call those JRPGs. So if you're watching this video, do you consider those games JRPGs? If so, drop a comment. If not, also drop a comment. Why not? I don't consider them RPGs because the only real... I consider them I consider them beat-em-ups with JRPG elements. You got a lot of games out there that have JRPG elements. In my opinion, referring to this game as a JRPG would be like calling Zelda 2 a JRPG, which, while it has a level-up system and RPG elements, that's really not a JRPG, guys. Anyways, so this is going to be my first foray, really, into the beat-em-up side of Yakuza. I have played some Like a Dragon. That's on my to-do list. Maybe I'll stream it on the channel at some point. But I'm definitely going to be playing that, hopefully this year, but at some point moving forward. The next game on my list is Street Fighter 6 Years 1 and 2 Edition. I'm not a big fighting game guy, admittedly. Probably the fighting games that I've played most, outside of Smash Brothers, because everybody knows that Super Smash Bros. Is the best fighting game. But the fighting games that I've played the most outside of Smash, I did play a good bit of Tekken 7. I played some Street Fighter 4 and 5 a little bit, just very casually. And the 2 Injustice games. I played a good bit of those games. I do like fighting games, but it's not my favorite genre. If I'm going out to buy a new game, I'm not going to look, let's see what new fighting games are out, I haven't even picked up Tekken 8. I haven't even picked up Street Fighter 6 since it launched on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. That was almost 2 years ago at this point. But with the Switch 2 version, it's time to dive in, because I do enjoy Street Fighter. If I'm going to play a fighting game, that's usually my fighting game of choice. Aside from maybe like some of the Dragon Ball Z fighting games. But again, this is one I'm going to really start playing a lot more at launch. Justin and I have already made plans to play that online, and we're looking forward to it. So my next launch game, and this is the other game I'm double dipping on. I mentioned previously that I'm double dipping on Hogwarts. But my next launch game, which is my other double dip, is Cyberpunk 2077. I have Cyberpunk for PlayStation 5. I've played a little bit of it, but not a lot. I'm not entirely sure the game is for me. I've never fully decided, I want to get into it, but I have only played an hour or two of the game, and really the reason I bought the PlayStation 5 version was to play on my PlayStation Portal while I'm watching hockey, while I'm watching football. Got some WWE on in the background, something like that. But I just never dove in. I've just been so busy playing other games. And the Nintendo Switch 2 version, I feel like, is perfect with the cross-play, cross-progression with all the other versions of the game. So, if I'm sitting on my couch, I'm not going to play that in my Switch 2 dock. If I want to play it on the TV, I'll load up my save on the PlayStation 5. If I want to play it handheld, I'm not going to use the Portal anymore. I'm going to use my Switch 2 on the road. Use the Switch 2. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And my other launch game, finally, that I will be picking up is obviously Mario Kart World. I've been playing Mario Kart since Super Mario Kart, on the Super Nintendo. My cousin had the game when we were kids. In fact, I have her copy now. May she rest in peace. When she passed away, my aunt gave it to me because her and I used to play the game all the time together. But I've been playing Mario Kart for 30 years at this point, and I'm really looking forward to World. I'm definitely interested in checking out the new gameplay mechanics. Knockout mode, I'm so excited for, guys. That is going to be one of the most fun games I have a feeling that we've played in a while. It's going to be a great gameplay mode. Other games I'm looking forward to near launch. I'm definitely got Donkey Kong Bonanza pre-ordered, so I'm definitely going to pick that up when it comes out. That's in the launch window. Meteoroid Prime 4. We don't know when that's coming out yet, but I am a fan of Meteoroid. Super Meteoroid, great game. Meteoroid Fusion, great game. Those are probably my two favorite Meteoroid games. I love Meteoroid Prime 1. I've not played Meteoroid Prime 2 or 3. you're probably wondering why I pronounce the game Meteoroid. I implore you to check out my friend Monado Max at his channel, Monado Max. And his friend Luke told him that game was pronounced Meteoroid. And Luke would never do him dirty, and Max would never do me dirty. So we know it's correct. I'm definitely looking forward to trying out the Switch 2 versions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Not necessarily on day one. I am going to buy those physically at some point, because one of the things I'm trying to get collection-wise is a full, complete in box Legend of Zelda collection. And I've got, I would say, probably about half of that at this point, including, you know, I've got the NES games, I've got multiple versions of Link to the Past. That's my favorite game of all time, for those who know me. And, yeah, so that's a collecting goal. Now, as far as like what to expect now from this channel, like I said, I'm going to talk about games. My plan at the moment is to upload a video, you know, at least a couple times a week. I mentioned previously we're going to do the Switch 2 launch, and I will also be going to Too Many Games, June 27th through 29th, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Actually, it's at OXPA at the Greater Philadelphia Convention Center. Justin will be with me. My friend Monado Max will be there. So, you know, definitely, if that's a con you're going to, come say hi. You know, we'll all be hanging out at one point or other. I'm sure my buddy Dustin Furman, my friend Justin and I have become friends with him over the years, going to cons. Dustin, I'm sure, is going to be there. You know, it's kind of his local con. But yeah, so that's it for the first video, guys. Please drop me a like, subscribe. I'm not here to become like monetized. If it happens, cool, but I'm here to talk about games. And that's what we're going to do on this channel. So until next time, we will see ya.